If you're a YouTube content creator, then you know that editing your videos can be a really time-consuming and boring process. Well, in today's video, I'm going to show you how you can use Camtasia to easily edit your videos, so you're not going to want to miss this. Hi, my name is Steve from It Makes Sense, where we give you the tools, tips, and strategies to create an online affiliate marketing business just because it makes sense to have time and financial freedom. I have a PC and I use Camtasia, and I've tried other programs and I found this to be the best. I've had other programs that crashed all the time or were slow or didn't have all of the features and benefits that Camtasia does. So in this video, I'm going to take you behind the scenes as I edit my Tailwind tutorial, and I'll show you how I produce my videos. So let's dive right in. All right, I'm in the Camtasia platform here, the program, and there's a couple of things I just want to show you before we get started. So over on the left hand side, this is all of your different tools, and your media bin and your tools will show up here once I start using them. This is your canvas right here. This is where your video is going to show up, and this is where you will put your graphics and your annotations and everything like that. Over here, this is your object properties, and I'll show you what that is in a second. And then down here, this is where your video and audio tracks and whatever else you are going to put into your videos. So I already did a video that we are going to edit, one of my YouTube videos. So I'm just going to drag the file over to here. I actually have a couple files because one, I did a screen capture using this tool right here, which is Camtasia screen capture tool. I'm actually using it right now to film this video. And so let me find the other file. I save all my files in different folders depending on the video. So I'm going to drag them and drop them here. And depending on the size file, they could take a little bit of time to upload to Camtasia. All right, so one is uploaded, but I believe this is one I'm not going to use. So what I would do is I would take it and just drag it here. And since I filmed this on my Canon camera, I want to convert the entire project to 60 frames per second. So I'm going to hit continue. And let me just see what this one is here. So what I can do is I come down here and I hit the space bar and it starts playing. Okay, and I believe this, yes, this is one I don't want, so I'm going to delete this, and then I can just delete it from my media bin. And the one that I want to use, you can see it's still uploading. Oh, it's finished. So now we can drag it and drop it down here. All right, so this is going to be my intro as well as some clips within. So I'm going to show you how I can trim these clips. The first thing I want to do is I want to zoom out so I can see this full clip. And you can see right now I don't have the audio and the video separated, which is fine. This little graph looking thing is the audio for this. And so, since this is such a big file, you can see it's taking a little bit of time. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is my intro. So I want to find where I'm introducing myself. And so what I'm going to do is, I think it's right here. So I'm going to move this little slider over and hit play.
However, there's a tool you can use called Tailwind.
Nope. So I must have done it right. Let me zoom in. Nope. Okay, so I must have done a good take the first time.
If you use Pinterest.
Okay, so yeah, this is what I want. So I have a introductory little clip that I created using Camtasia and I saved it in my library. So if I go to my library and I go to default, it's called new intro. And it's a group, so you can see it's made up of different things. So it's made up of a title, it's made up of some music, and it's made up of my logo. So I want to intersect right here where the music or this title stops playing and where I stop talking. So what I'm going to do is I am going to layer this over here because I stop talking, or I start talking right here. And I'm going to split this clip here, and then I'm going to silence the audio on that. And I'll show you what I'm trying to accomplish in a second. So then I'm also going to drag this over to here, and I need to split it here and then delete this little section there. So let's move everything over to the beginning, and let's see if this all matches up now. Perfect. So I'm going to change the title, so I would just zoom it over to here and double click it on here. So I can just change this to Tailwind Tutorial. All right, we'll leave that for now. All right, so the first thing is, let's see how our intro looks.
If you use Pinterest to drive traffic to either your blog, YouTube video, or other content, then you know that being active on Pinterest can be a full-time job, especially if you want to do it correctly.
So I use jump cuts a lot. So this is the end of this first cut. So what I'm going to do is I can either do edit, split all, or these little green and red little tabs here, I can bring it over to here like this, and then use this little scissors and cut it out. So that's two different ways that you can edit your videos, either the scissors or with the edit split the clip. So let's see how this transition looks.
Full-time job, especially if you want to do it correctly. However, there's a tool you can use called...
Okay, so in this second cut, I want to zoom in on myself just so I'm creating some, so it doesn't always just look bland or you're always looking at me. I just want to create some engagement, some pattern interrupts. So what I'm going to do here is, let's zoom in, and that clip starts right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to, actually I need to split this so I can do that. So let's split all, come over here. Now I just want to make this a little bit larger and center it. You can tell by these guidelines here. Now let's see how this looks. So it's going to go from normal size to zoomed in.
However, there's a tool you can use called Tailwind that will give you back your time, and you can use it more effectively. Okay.
Oh, so I screwed up here. So that's not the clip I wanted.
However, there's a tool called Tailwind that you can use that will give you back your time, and you can use it to do more important things like running your business. And in this Tailwind tutorial, I will show you how.
Okay, so I need to find where I actually have the one clip that I want. Now, if you've watched any of my videos, you'll see that I use these bloopers in my end screen, and I'll show you how I do that in a second. So let's find where I have a good take.
There's a tool you can use called Tailwind that'll give you back your time, and you can use it to do more important things like growing your business.
Let's just do this. Nope, I had a lot of takes on this one, I believe. Let's do this. Okay, I think it was this one. So I want to find where there would be a good transition between the last clip and this clip. So I'm going to edit, split all, delete this whole thing, drag this, and bring it over here. All right, now let's see.
This can be a full-time job, especially if you want to do it correctly. However, there's a tool you can...
So you can see how I went from 100% size to an enlarged size, just for a little bit of a pattern interrupt there.
Full-time job, especially if you want to do it correctly. However, there's a... And the reason why...
All right, so it looks fine. Now, just wanted to show you, I don't use transitions, but there are so many different transitions you can use. I shouldn't say I don't use them, but I don't use them in between my jump cuts. But there are transitions you could use between your cuts. For instance, you have the fade, the flip, circle stretch. Let me show you like what a page roll would look like. So you would take this and then you would drop and drag it there. So for instance, if I were to go from one clip to the next, you can see what this transition looks like.
And the reason why...
All right, so it was, my computer's a little slow, so let me back it up.
And the reason why I recommend...
So you get the idea how it looks. If I wanted to delete this, I just zoom in a little bit and then highlight it and just hit delete.
And the reason why I recommend tailwind is because
And the other thing that I do often is I go and save my project because it doesn't happen often, which is one of the reasons I really love Camtasia. But every once in a while, if the file becomes too big or I'm doing too much, my computer freaks out, it'll shut down, and I've lost the work since the last save. All right, so I have this clip here where I talk about how Pinterest is an official partner of with Tailwind. So I want to show a screenshot of that. So I'm going to drag in this PDF or this PNG file that I have, and I want to overlay it here where I'm showing this.
recommend Tailwind is because Tailwind is an official.
All right, so I want to show this here, and I want it to be the full screen. So it's a really quick shot showing that Tailwind is a partner with Pinterest. So there we go.
Partner with Pinterest, and that means that Pinterest verifies and approves all of the features and benefits
There we
of
go.
Tailwind, which means that if you use this tool, you can rest assured that you.
So I went ahead and added all the clips and did the editing. So now I just want to show you how to add some cool features that Camtasia has. So right now I'm talking about this pin that I added, but I want to zoom in right here so people can see a close-up of what I'm doing. So what I'm going to do is, let's back it up a little bit. I want to zoom in. So what I'm going to do is hit animations, and I'm going to zoom in and bring it over here. So what that's going to look like is this.
Pop it into the draft section. And now I have the pin here, and now.
So see how it's zoomed in? And I want to find the spot where I'm going to zoom out now. Okay, so I'm going to zoom out here. So then all I would do is hit actual size. And then, so what it's going to look like is this.
So that's where you see this little, on the schedule, these little lock buttons. These are the ones.
Oh, I needed to do it before that. So let's delete that.
Schedule these to go out in different intervals. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to schedule this to go up.
All right, so right now I want to zoom back to the actual size. So what that looks like is this.
One time, I want to schedule these to go out in different intervals. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to schedule this to go out.
So it zooms back to the normal size. Now you can drag these to make it a little bit longer. So this would, so for instance, this would take a longer to zoom back in,
Go out, and I hit this little interval here.
or zoom back out.
So it's.
But I just want it to zoom out so I can show people on this side here the schedule. All right, so that's one thing that I wanted to show you. Okay, and now I want to highlight this area where people have to put the link in. So I could go to annotations. I could either highlight it, like a spotlight like this, or I can draw a circle around it, which would look like this. So let me show you what a circle would look like if I were to draw it. So let me bring it over here. And now if it were to play,
Here, now you have to, this is where you put
you can see how it draws a circle around. So that's another cool feature you can do, a little effect you can use with Camtasia. So right here I'm talking about the Chrome extension, and I wanted to highlight this. So I'm going to zoom in. So let's get to where I need it to be.
Other people's pins, there's two ways that I recommend. However, before you do it,
so let's zoom in here. So go to animations. So I'm going to zoom in. And then I'm going to highlight this so people know what I am pointing to. Right there.
have to go and get the Chrome extension. So click on this and it'll take you to where you can get the Chrome.
Now I'm going to zoom out because I don't want to highlight this anymore. So we're just going to do actual size. And there we go. So let's see how that looks.
Other people's pins, there's two ways that I recommend. However, before you do it, you have to go and get the Chrome extension. So click on this and it'll take you to where you can get the Chrome extension.
All right, so the highlight lasted a little bit longer than I wanted, so I'm going to zoom in and I'm going to match this up right there. So now this will look like this.
You have to go and get the Chrome extension. So click on this and it'll take you to where you can get the
There we go. So the highlight was gone before I started zooming back out. Now I want to show you how I add an end screen. So I have a graphic that I created in Canva, and I have a video that I'll link up above where you can go check out how to create this in Canva and how you can add it to your YouTube video. But I just take this and I drop and drag it right there. And I already have my music and the 20 seconds that I'm allowed for my end screens. Now with my end screens, I add little bloopers. So what I'm gonna do is pull back in this right here where I know I have a ton to choose from. So let's show. Let's see where, let's find one here.
How easy it is to know your Pinterest. Tool you can use that will give you.
All right, so there's one I can use. So let's just clip it. So what I'm going to do now is drag it over to the end screen. So let's delete that. And you can see that it's too big. So all I need to do is resize it and drop it right over that little box that I created. So I know that's how big I want the video. So now if I were to play it.
And I'll see you guys in the next video. However, there's a tool you can use that will give you.
All right, so now I can just go and find bloopers that'll fill this 20 seconds. And that's all I really do to create my end screens with my bloopers. Okay, once you have the video that you want, it's all edited, it's got all the effects you want. Now what you're gonna do is you're gonna come to share, and I use a local file, and I use custom production settings. So I hit next, I use an MP4, and then I have it sized to 1920 by 1080. My video settings are 60 frames per second. So I hit OK. I have the path that I want. Actually, no, this is where I select the path. So I don't want this one. I want it in this Tailwind tutorial. Hit OK, save, and then hit finish. So then this part will take probably, depending on how long your video is, it could take up to 10-15 minutes. There's a lot of other things that Camtasia can do that I want to show you, but these aren't things that I did to my video. So I just brought in a clip so I can show you. So the first thing I want to demonstrate is this. It's called Titles Template, and I'll show you what this is. So if I were to drag this and then play it, you can see this template where I can put my name, I can put right here I have like tips, and this is a cool feature that you can add to Camtasia. Now I didn't create that myself. I went to, if I go to Camtasia 2019, it's in this area and it's called lower thirds, and there's all these different animations that you can add to your videos. So if I pick one, I can show you here. And that would be this one. Or there's this one. There's so many different templates that come with Camtasia. So that's the titles that you can add. You can also do, there's different icons that come with Camtasia. So for instance, there's an apartment where I can add that here. And then I have an apartment, I guess, a graphic that I can add to my videos. So you can go through and look at all the different icons. There's also motion backgrounds, different backgrounds if you wanted to do intros and outros. So this is what this right here. So if you wanted to add text, so for instance, I wanted to add a custom intro. Let me silence this audio so it's not playing the whole time. Then what I would do is come over here and go to annotations, and you can see the different text boxes that you can use. Right now I have it on basic, but you can do, there's abstract, there's bold, urban. So I'm just gonna go back to I'm gonna go to basic, and let's say I wanted to just add a title here and I wanted to add it with a box. So I would take this and drag it and drop it here. Now the properties for this box are over here. So you can see that right now I have a rectangular box that is white, but if I wanted to change the color, I can change it to any color I wanted to. Let's say if I wanted it to be purple. and now this box is purple. If I double click on the text, it brings up the text properties. So right now the font is Montserrat. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that right. And if I wanted to change that, I can have the drop down here and then find the one that I want. Let's say if I wanted a Broadway, and here I could change the color. So here I want it to be white. And then I can just add any title I want here. So that's how you add different annotations. Another thing that you can add are cursor effects. So for instance, if I have a mouse pointer here and I'm showing different things, I can come over here to the left-hand menu, go to cursor effects, and then cursor highlight. So if I drag it over to my screen share, now if I play it, whenever you see my cursor, see if I can find a spot where I have the cursor right here. So now you can see that I have that yellow circle highlight around my cursor. Another thing you can do is, so if I wanted to get rid of that effect, I can just click on it, right click, remove all effects, and that got rid of that cursor. So right now if I play it, you can see that that circle is gone. I can do cursor spotlight, so wherever my cursor goes, it has that highlight around it and everything else is dark around it. I can do cursor magnify, so let me remove that. So wherever my cursor goes, it magnifies that section of the video. So let me add that effect, and then you can see right there. So that's a really nice feature. So let me remove that. There's different audio effects you can do. All right, say if I wanted to play around with the audio, so I bring the audio back. Right here you can see this is the audio level. So if I play it now, you can see it's pretty loud. If I bring this down, it's now quieter. Another thing you can do is if you double click, let's say if you wanted to fade something out, your audio out, you can double click on this, so it brings up this little point. If I double click on this and then drag it down, you can see the audio will start to fade out. You can also add clip speed. So let me bring this audio back. Let me split it and split this again. Now I want to highlight this over here. And then right here, you can see it brings up the speed. And right now it's 1 times. But if I make it 10 times and hit enter, and there you go. And that one little clip was 10 times speed. So that's another thing you can do. Here's also a way to do fade in, fade out audio compression, but I like to do it with manually with that little green line that I showed you. All right, say you wanted to add tracks, music tracks to your video. Well, you can come over to the library, go to Camtasia 2019, and look for music tracks. So there's a bunch of different music tracks that you can select. The best way to get music tracks is to go to YouTube Creator and find royalty-free music. But let's say I wanted to add one. I can drop it and right here. So now if I were to play this.
All right, let's test this.
Oh, let's turn down this audio because let's make it silent for now. So you can see now we have audio. Now, if you want more than either icons or intros or those lower thirds or the backgrounds, you can go to Camtasia and you can go to download more assets. And that'll take you to the Camtasia website where you can look for many different effects, footages, outros, intros. And if I want a motion background, I can look through all of the different backgrounds, and you can see some of them are free, others you have to pay for. So that's another nice feature. And then if I hover over it, it'll show you what that motion background looks like. So this is the one we showed earlier, Here's another one. So there's a lot you can do with the Camtasia assets. All right, another thing you can do, let's come back over to my title. So let's make this a little bigger so you can see. So this is a title. Now what you can also do is you can add different behaviors to this title. So let's say I wanted to add this drifting. So what I would do is drag this and drop it over my title. Now when the title enters, you can see that it drifts in and then it drifts out. Let's remove this. I'll show you another one. So if I highlight, or if I just hold my cursor over, it gives you a little preview. So if, let's say I wanted to explode, see how that looks. And then it should explode out. Let's remove that. Remove all effects. Now you could just do okay. Now let's just say you only wanted that effect to be not just for the box, but you wanted it to be for the words only. Well, let me delete this. I'm going to delete the audio so it's not playing in the background. So what I would do is I would come to annotations. I would go to shapes, create a shape. Let's make this just, let's make this one blue for now. Oh, I don't want the dropper, the eyedropper. I want this to be blue. Okay. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to annotations, but now I'm just going to select words. Letters, I meant to say. So let's say this is a title. Now I can add that effect just to the words. So if I come back to behaviors, and let's try another one, jumping, I can add it to just the words. So now it's not the whole thing, it's just the words. So that's another way that you can use behaviors. So as you can see, Camtasia is really simple to use and you can create some amazing simple videos. So that's it for today's video. I hope you liked it. If you did, please hit that thumbs up so I know to create more content like this. And if you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing as I'm putting out weekly content showing you the tools, tips, strategies of how to create an affiliate marketing business. And with that, I will see you guys in my next video.